So, how do I run a business while my kids are literally like destroying my house as we speak? Like, I want this to be a joke. I don't think it's a joke though. I can hear them in the other room. My husband's in there with them. It's not like they're on their own, but it's 4 kids in house all day. I have 4 kids, ADHD, and I work from home. Oh yeah, and I also homeschool my kids. So like life is crazy here. But I want to explain how I actually am able to run a business, grow it, take care of my clients, take care of my social media, make sure the kids are like alive, fed, and I still have like some self-care woven in there too. So I'm gonna break it all down. But like the elephant in the room that we really need to like tackle first, that I feel like is a huge issue still, even though I started as a mom blogger like 10 years ago and we were talking about this then, we're still talking about this now. And it's like mom guilt, right? This is something that all parents might feel to some extent, but this is so much stronger with moms, where we feel guilty whenever we're not giving everything to our kids. And so a lot of times, if you're like a stay-at-home mom and you're trying to build a business, become a content creator, the fact that you're taking time away from being with your kids and giving them your all can sometimes lead to feeling guilty. And I want to give you a really good reason to not feel like that anymore. This one like hits me on like a more emotional level, and that helps me get over it. It's by thinking about how I want my kids to be as adults. And it's simply that I want my kids to see me as a whole human being. I don't want my kids to think that my entire purpose is just to be a mom and a wife. And there's nothing wrong with those things. And I'm not even saying that you need to grow a business, you need to have a job. But like as a person, what else do you love? Is it baking sourdough? Is it gardening? Is it reading dark romance books that you hope they never hear you listening to? But I think about like when my daughters and sons, but especially my daughters, grow up, do I want them to feel like they can't pursue their goals or pursue their dreams because they're moms? And the answer is like absolutely not. And so I have to do that myself, right? Like as much as I would love to just spend every day going and doing fun things with them, I have to work. Not just for the money, but also for fulfillment. As much as like my kids bring me happiness and joy, I feel like it's also not healthy for them or for me to only find purpose in them. Like I should have purpose outside of that. And so I want my daughters to grow up knowing that they can have purpose outside of their kids. And I want my sons to grow up and support the women around them in following their passions and their purposes. And so that helps me get past a lot of the mom guilt. If I didn't have systems set up for my business, I would literally get nothing done. So many people talk about making money in your sleep, passive income, but the real way that you do that is by creating systems. And this means that you actually have to do quite a bit of work on the front end, but it leaves you the ability to have like way more free time and make money literally in your sleep down the road. And so that has been a focus of mine. So let me share exactly the systems that I use and the automations that I use to make life a lot easier and be able to get sales, get new leads, all of that with way, way, way less work. I've seen this trend where people talk about being high maintenance to be low maintenance, where like they do their like contour with their self tanner and like get your eyelashes done and things like that. So even though it takes time and money maybe to do these processes, every morning you can wake up and like look good without even really trying. And that's essentially what we're doing with your business. So number one, when it comes to content, you need to have an editorial calendar. And I call this like my mean girls method. Like on Wednesdays we wear pink. So your editorial calendar is like on Wednesdays, I post get ready with me's. Thursdays, I share like a hot take. On Fridays, I do a day in the life. So that each day of the week, and you can even extend this like longer out into a month and also to quarters, depending on what you need to do for your business. Hopefully, we're having a little tea party over here, and hopefully they're not. Oh my God, she is feral. She's just throwing them on the ground. Baby girl, be gentle with your teapot. It's going to break. And so once you set up this editorial calendar, it gives you a framework so that every week, every month, or however often you plan your content, you have a baseline to start from. You're not just like pulling it out of your ass every week, right? And by doing this, I always do this for me and my clients, we have somewhere to start, and it makes the entire process a lot easier. And then the second thing I've done for my content is I've created a Notion template. It's called Content HQ. You can grab it now. It's on pre-sale if you're watching this in late September. But essentially, I am putting in there all of the actual templates that I use personally in my business to curate my content. And then I'm also including things like how to create a content calendar, how to find your content pillars, how to do keyword research, literally like everything that you need to know in order to successfully create content and make it be less stressful. It's all packed in there. So that and creating that has made my life so much easier. And then to kind of pair with that, I use ChatGPT so much, and I've just started diving into actually creating my own ChatGPT assistants. So you can essentially create your own personal like template for ChatGPT that has all of your copy, all of your sales pages, like all of your content, all these things about you. It's like you can put your entire brand Bible in there, and then it can pull from that for anything that you want. So when I'm creating content, for example, I always have ChatGPT help me to outline my ideas, even outline the scripts. Like what I'm talking about right now, I had ChatGPT help me outline it. And usually it requires a lot of heavy editing on my part. And sometimes I'll even completely change it. But it's a good placeholder. It's a good place to start instead of feeling like you're starting from a blank slate. I've even got to the point where ChatGPT knows me so well that if I'm creating a new program, I can just tell it like what I want, and it'll tell me like a good name for it, the price, like everything. I even have like an avatar, my ideal client avatar. She has a name inside of there. So, and her name's Sarah inside of ChatGPT. So if I'm ever creating something, I'm like, hey, like, would Sarah like this? And then ChatGPT will say like, yeah, this is for Sarah, or like, no, it's a little like off, you know? And it's so helpful. So helpful. This is the thing that if you want passive income, you have to have, and it's an automated sales funnel. So this can look like an email marketing funnel where people give you their email, and then you can send them out a whole bunch of emails, like nurturing them, selling to them, and then as things come up and you launch new things, you can continue to sell to them over and over again. But that first initial sequence should go out completely on autopilot, so that you can make money without literally doing anything once it's set up. In like tandem with that would be ManyChat. So when you're on Instagram and people are like, oh, comment 5 below and I'll send you my guide. That's ManyChat is the like software that's making that happen so that you automatically get DMs from that person. And you can make it as simple as just one DM that's delivering the freebie, or you can have it be a longer sequence that lasts for days or even weeks, to keep people engaged with you and to continue to sell to them and also nurture your relationship with them. And those are truly like, I think, must-haves for every single business. Like, I don't let my clients go without those. I literally don't. Hi, whoever's out there. And then let's talk about automation and systems, not just in business, but at home. Because for me, my desk that I usually work on is in my kitchen. My kids are always like around me, so I can go help them get a snack and then pop right back onto my computer. It just keeps it so much easier for me to be engaged both in the things that I take care of at home and also at work. And like those two worlds are inseparable for me because of the way that my life is set up. And so some of the systems that I've used to help like facilitate that are things like meal planning, right? So instead of meal planning every day or every week, I will literally set up an entire quarter of meal plans and do it seasonally, and then just pop it into like my Google Calendar. So like let's plan out a month of content. Let's plan out a month of meals I will just put it onto the calendar and then have it repeat for 3 months. Okay. And that way you don't have to think about it. You can even pop like a shopping list in weekly. It just depends how detailed you want to get. But think about how you can create automation. Like, can you start using subscriptions and grocery delivery and things like that in order to speed up your entire process? I think a lot of people use these already, but there's probably a way to like streamline things for you. And I would think about that. I also have a family calendar that my older kids, now that they have computers and stuff, are all on our family calendar, so they can see what we're doing every day. They can see what we have planned. And that way there's like no question about what we're doing. They also have their own little routine set up so that in the morning they're supposed to like wake up, have their breakfast, brush their teeth, and then they go in and do their schoolwork on the computer. All the things that they can do without my help. And so that way, during that time period, I can get work done while they're getting their work done. Now, I have a 2-year-old, so she's the wild card. She's a maniac. She's adorable. She's also, she terrorizes us, okay? In the best way, in the cutest way. But she's 2. She's 2.5, almost 3. And like, if you're a parent, you know that the 2s, like the early 2s, are not that bad. It's really when you get to the 3s, the 3s are hard. You know, I've realized that a lot of times, if something's not really working, I just like double down on it. I'm like, oh, I just gotta keep trying. But really, if you look at your content, if you look at your sales, you look at your marketing, it breaks down to the 80-20 rule, right? Like 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. If I look through my TikTok content, for example, it's like 10 videos that pull in the most views, followers, everything. Even if they were posted months ago, those are still the videos right now pulling in the most new viewers and the most new followers. And so, do I focus on those videos and just replicate? Sometimes yes, but also, do I want to be a silly goose and say, oh no, I gotta make new stuff, new? Yeah, I do that, and it's silly. I shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't do that either. We need to focus on that 20% of things that are getting us the biggest results. So how can you look at your business and also your life and the way you're running your home and see what are the 20% that are helping me get that 80% result? And for me, this is really being intentional, because where things go off the rails and when I start to feel burnt out is when I'm just trying to do everything. And you can't do everything. Also, let's think about even like what platforms you're on. You know, like, are you trying to be everywhere? Are you trying to be on every single platform, but like almost all of your customers come from Instagram or almost all your customers come from TikTok? Yes, you want to have like a little bit of a diverse like footprint here, but at the same time, why are you screwing around on Facebook if you're not making any money there? Same thing with your products. Which products are actually making you money? Do you keep pushing things that aren't making you money, and then you get frustrated and you think you just have to do more and more and more instead of saying, oh wait, hold on. Maybe I'm not putting my effort in the right basket. And I know when you're first starting, it can feel hard to even understand where those results are coming from, because you're like, well, I'm barely getting any sales at all. Like, how do I even judge that? When you're starting, the metrics that I like to look at are how many new people are you adding to your email list? If you even have one, you should have one. Please go start an email list. My favorite metric to look at, especially on TikTok, is how many new followers I'm getting on a piece of content. Like, to me, that is a pretty good indication of whether that content is landing or not, besides things like saves and shares. And it also shows if I'm getting growth from it. So while you're stuck in that 200 view jail, while you're not getting the big views, like, look at those underlying metrics. And the thing is that a lot of times if you're looking at like views, that might not mean anything, because some of my highest viewed videos that even got up to like 600,000 views didn't make me any money. And then I've got tons of videos that have gotten like 200 views and have gotten me sales and lots of new leads. So if you're just starting out, you might have to dig a little deeper into your stats and what you're doing in order to find that 20% that's getting you to 80% of results, but it's still possible. My life becomes a complete disaster in the afternoons usually. Like, shit just goes off the rails. My brain is mush. My kids need fed or they want to go do something fun. The toddler is not napping anymore, so she might be in a pretty bad mood by then. So my priority is always getting as much done as I can in the morning. So my typical morning is like, get up, have my coffee. My wonderful husband usually makes me breakfast. I know. And then I like to get in steps on the treadmill because I'm trying to go my 10K steps every day. So I walk on my treadmill while I kind of like look through my Notion. I look through my plan for the day. I might get a few quick tasks done. Like this morning, I sent out an email sequence for one of my clients while I was having I'm having tea because I'm out of coffee. So sad, I know. And so then by 10, 11 o'clock, I've actually already got like a lot of things done. Especially things that I might not feel like doing later when my brain's not working so much. I like to save afternoon tasks that are like less brain heavy and more just like on autopilot. Like, for example, creating pins and pinning things on Pinterest. It's kind of like a low level of intelligence. I need to do that. It's like just doing the same thing repeatedly. I'll try to do those types of tasks in the afternoon and get my major stuff done in the morning. Now, you'll notice that my morning routine and the things that I include in my most important part of the day involve self-care. It includes breakfast. It includes walking on my walking pad, okay? So much of my life, I just neglected those basic things in order to just get stuff done. But it just ends up biting you later when you get burnt out or like if you don't eat and then your brain doesn't work right, at least for me. Like with having ADHD, I've had to learn a lot over the years how to like take care of myself so that I can actually function because having ADHD, I say it's like having like a race car for a brain versus like a dependable like mid-sized vehicle. Like most people have like the dependable like mid-sized vehicle that they can commute to work and it really like just it's sturdy, right? And it's solid, it's dependable. I have a race car brain. It goes very fast. It is a high performance vehicle, but it runs out of gas very quickly and it crashes very easily. And so I have to be like strategic about where I put that race car to work. And if I do not ensure that I'm feeding it and I do not ensure that I'm getting like exercise and that I'm getting the proper stimulation beyond just like scrolling, then I'm not gonna get shit done. And I'm not gonna lie, I take medication too. But medication is like kind of medication is something that like brings me to a baseline that allows me to use like all of the tools and strategies that I've learned over the years. You still have to like be able to take care of yourself, do self-care, prioritize, and do all these other things besides just taking medication. And there's gonna be times, like, let's be real, where you have to like ascend the level. If you're looking to build like $1 million business, you can't keep doing the things that you're doing as a brand new business owner or as someone who's making maybe a couple $1,000 a month. Like you have to take on more. And that can look like some nights, honestly, staying up later. Sometimes sacrificing doing the fun thing with the kids in order to get your work done. That is real. But like also make sure you're balancing it with the things that you know are going to take care of your brain and your body and your feelings. I don't like talking about feelings. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm a Capricorn sun. I'm Cancer rising. And so I don't like talking about my feelings, but I have a lot of. It's taken me 37 years to learn how to take care of that. But here's the thing. I have noticed that every time things feel so chaotic, so hard, so crazy, and I'm like, one day I was literally like sitting at this desk one night just like crying, like, please someone help me. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I was like, I just need a break. I just need something. And the next day, I had my first viral video that went to 600,000 people on TikTok. And, you know, that did not change my life. I didn't get like internet famous and make tons of money from it, but it like shifted my perception of what was possible. Because until then, I was like, well, maybe I just can't do it. Like, maybe I'm just not meant for this. And that one video made me feel like, oh no, I can do it. I can do it. So, usually, if you're in the midst of something really chaotic, really hard, it means there's about to be a breakthrough. Because either like something's gonna happen, or you're just gonna get sick of it and you're gonna create your own breakthrough. What, baby? So if you wanted to grab my content planning system, Content HQ, it's a Notion template, but it's more than that because I'm including tutorials and all kinds of amazing stuff. It's on pre-sale right now because I'm in the process of building it out. So as part of the pre-sale, you will get immediate access to it, but it's not fully built out. But you're going to get it 50% off what the eventual price is. So 10 out of 10, highly suggest you going and grabbing that. I also have your brand blueprint. Now, this is a brand growth planner that literally lays the foundation for $1 million businesses. Like every $1 million business has these things in place. And if you don't, then good luck. You may as well go buy a lottery ticket. What's that mean? What's that mean? I feel like I'm like the saddest, like, am I the trauma? I like being nice, but then sometimes I feel a little like sassy.